Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. The Tennessee Volunteers come in at number 8 in our Gridiron Expert way too early top 25, fresh off an unbelievable 11-2 season that would have seen them make the college football playoff had they not lost to South Carolina and ultimately lost Hendon Hooker in that game as well. But still, what a year for the Vols down in Knoxville, finally knocking off Alabama, an 11-win season, crushing Clemson in the Orange Bowl. This was a talented team, guys, and the scary thing is they can be just as good, if not better, in 2023. Yes, Hendon Hooker might be gone. Yes, Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt might be gone, but Joe Milton is in. And we saw Joe Milton showcase his talents in that Orange Bowl win over Clemson. They're projected to have roughly 6 starters back on offense, roughly 7 back on defense, and they've got a very, very favorable schedule that we're going to break down for you right now. So again, guys, welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We're so glad that you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below because, again, here at the Gridiron Expert, football never dies. The season never ends here at the Gridiron Expert, and we want you to become a part of it and be a part of our GE Nation so you can experience everything that we have here at the channel 24/7, 365. So let's take a look at Tennessee's schedule, all right? Let's take a look. I mean, it is insane how favorable, to me, it is for Tennessee. First thing you should look at here. They open up the season against Virginia in Nashville. Practically a home game for the Vols, right? And Virginia, by no means one of the more elite Power 5 teams. An intriguing matchup for sure, but one that I think Tennessee, many would project to win and would be favored in. Again, we're not predicting Tennessee's games and their record today. We'll predict them soon. All the more reason to subscribe to us, hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any of the future content, any of the predictions that we're going to be putting out soon. But Virginia, most would project to be a win. Austin Peay, okay. All right. On the road at Florida, UTSA, South Carolina, A&M. If you look at something here, the first 7 weeks, what do you notice? What do you notice? In the first 7 weeks, Tennessee has one true road game. One true road game. They leave the state of Tennessee one time in the first 7 weeks. That's when they go on the road to Florida on September 16th. I mean, the game the season opener is in Nashville. Like we said, that's practically a home game. Austin Peay, UTSA. Tough game. Good group of 5 team that's now moved to the American Athletic Conference. Great quarterback in Frank Harris. Won double-digit games the last 2 years. Not a game they should overlook, but, still one I think Tennessee is projected to win. They get them at home. Then they get South Carolina at home. They lost to South Carolina 63-38. That's not going to be an easy game by any means. Shane Beamer's building something in Columbia. Spencer Rattler's back for another year, but I expect the revenge factor to be involved there. And obviously getting that game at Neyland Stadium is huge. Then they get their bye week, and then they take on Texas A&M, who, again, very well fell short of expectations in 2022, where they didn't even make a bowl game. Yes, they have a lot of key recruits coming in. Yes, they have a new offensive coordinator. Yes, Jimbo Fisher is building something again in College Station. I'll believe it when I see it. Tennessee, though, as a cross-division, well, they get A&M and they get them at home. First 7 weeks are great if you're a Tennessee fan. And I think for many, anything less than 6, obviously anything less than 6-1 would be a disappointment, but I think 7-0 is very possible in those first the first 6 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, excuse me. We're not to Alabama yet. First 6 games through 7 weeks because of the bye week, 6-0, very possible. 5-1 would be the bare minimum, I think, for Tennessee. It's just my initial take there. So great start to the year. Then the schedule gets a little bit tougher, but really, ultimately, let's be honest. If you're Tennessee, the season comes down to 2 games. 2 games will define Tennessee's season and whether or not they can maybe get to the SEC championship, maybe get to the college football playoff. And we know what 2 games those are. They're the 2 teams that have run the conference for about the last decade. Alabama for the majority of it. Georgia now on the up and coming with 2 back-to-back national championships. They have to go to Alabama on October 21st following the Texas A&M game. They beat Alabama 52-49 last year in Knoxville, one of the best games of the year. And then they host Georgia in the second to last game of the year. They lost to the Bulldogs 27-13 in Athens last year. And yes, Georgia, of course, loses a lot of key pieces. Lose Stetson Bennett, lose some guys on defense. We said that 2 years ago after they won the championship over Alabama. We said they lose a lot. There's no way they'll be as good as they were. And some could argue that this last year's Georgia team was even better than the one that won the national championship over Alabama. So it comes down to 2 games. Because after that, at Kentucky, They beat Kentucky 44-6 last year. Yes, Kentucky has Devin Leary at quarterback. Yes, it is in Lexington. Yes, you never want to underestimate Mark Stoops. Yes, I think the game's closer than 44-6, but I think many would project Tennessee to win. UConn, okay. They're not going to do much. They made a bowl game last year under Jim Moore, which was fantastic. They're not going to win in Knoxville. At Missouri, well, they beat Missouri 66-24 last year. And again, Eli Drinkwitz is trying to do something kind of special in Missouri and in Columbia, but I don't know if they would have the forces to take down Tennessee, although they nearly took down Georgia last year in Columbia. So can't overlook that game, especially with Georgia on the horizon. That's kind of one of those weird scenarios there where you could see Tennessee sleepwalking through Missouri in preparation for Georgia. Can't afford to do that. So maybe a minor trap game against the Tigers. Georgia, and then they finish out the year at home against Vanderbilt, who they beat 56-0. Vanderbilt improving, could be a bowl team this year, right on the border, but Tennessee has kind of dominated Vanderbilt for forever, pretty much. A couple Vanderbilt victories here and there, but for the most part, Tennessee takes care of business. So again, guys, you look at the schedule, it's really super, super favorable. I mean, I think looking at this right now, I think anything less than 9 wins for Tennessee would be viewed as a major disappointment. I think most people would have their sights set on at least another 10-win season. And maybe those 2 losses are to Alabama and Georgia, which for some would be a disappointment because that would prevent Tennessee from making the SEC championship. It would prevent them from making the playoff, but it would be good enough to get them to yet another New Year's Six bowl game. If you split those 2 games against Alabama and Georgia, assuming you win everything else, 11-1, depending on who you lose to, could be enough to get you the SEC championship, or it could put you right back in the position Tennessee was in last year, where had they defeated South Carolina, they would have been 11-1. They wouldn't have made the SEC championship because Georgia would have won it being undefeated, but would have probably been good enough to get them in to the college football playoff. This is a Tennessee team that, despite everything they lost, has the chance and has the talent to get to the playoff this year, even if they don't even win the East. They beat Alabama, lose to Georgia again, they're probably getting in, assuming they're 11-1. You beat Georgia, all bets are off. This is a great, great schedule for the Volunteers, guys. Again, the fact that they only leave the state of Tennessee one time from the start of the season to October 21st when they take on Alabama is extremely beneficial. Huge for them to get a great start, to rack up a couple victories there. Even if they were to fall to Alabama, they have a couple opportunities to make them up, and then they get to host the Bulldogs in Knoxville. That has the opportunity to be a top 15, top 10, maybe even top 5 showdown, depending on how both teams are doing. Major implications for the SEC East title, major implications when it comes to the college football playoff. Yes, we know they've lost Hendon Hooker. Joe Milton, I think, will fill in just fine. Watch out for the Vols, guys. Last year was not a one-hit wonder. They have an opportunity to be just as good, if not better, in 2023. And, of course, we will be here to predict Tennessee's schedule and record here in just a few months. So, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below because, again, guys, here at the Gridiron Expert, football never dies. The season never ends here at our channel, and we want you to be able to take advantage of that and to experience that with us as a part of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.